Reacher's 10 best episodes so far, ranked almost every episode in Reacher's first 2 seasons, is memorable in one way or the other, but some episodes easily rank above others in terms of quality. The 2 installments of Tom Cruise's Jack Reacher movies faced immense criticism for drifting too far from the original books. Fortunately, Amazon's Reacher does not repeat the same mistake and closely follows the story and character beat set by Lee Child in the source material. Owing to its loyalty to the source and ability to keep viewers invested, the Reacher TV show has consistently landed in critics' good books. While Season 1 holds an impressive Rotten Tomatoes critics score of 92%, Season 2 boasts an almost perfect score of 98%. Despite the high critical score, however, both Reacher seasons have had a fair share of highs and lows, making some of its episodes far better than the others. Directed by Carol Banker, Reacher Season 2's Episode 6 is among the better episodes in the series because it makes a hero out of Russo. The character not only defies his superiors to help Reacher and the team, but also takes it upon himself to protect Marlo and her daughter by putting his life on the line. The episode also ends on a heart-rending note when Russo dies, establishing how dangerous Langston and his men can be. Apart from walking through Russo's final heroic arc, the episode also brings out Neely's vulnerable side and shows how she is different from Reacher. Although Neely sticks to her no-touching rule throughout Reacher Season 2 by avoiding physical contact with anyone, she breaks it to comfort Russo in his dying moments. This scene hints that Neely has lost someone important in the past, which will likely be explored in depth in her spin-off. After Reacher Season 2's Episode 1 does an incredible job of setting the stage for the overarching conflict, Episode 2 perfectly follows it up by introducing new developments in the case. It hints at how many members of the 110th Special Investigation Unit have already been eradicated, and Reacher and his team must race against time to find the truth before it is too late. The episode also introduces NYPD Detective Guy Russo, who gradually becomes one of the most likable characters in Season 2 because of his buddy cop dynamic with Reacher. Reacher Season 2's Episode 2 is also memorable because it has one of the most ridiculously fun action scenes from the series. It includes a sequence in which Jack Reacher kicks Russo's car so hard that its airbags activate. After activating the airbags, the character proceeds to assault Russo without realizing that he is a police officer. The scene may seem a little too over the top and unrealistic to many, but it captures how unrealistically superhuman Reacher can be in the original book sometimes. No Apologies is easily one of the most intense episodes in the series because it walks Reacher and Roscoe through one challenge after another. Just when it looks like the 2 characters are getting closer to resolving the overarching conspiracy, they face a new setback that tests their resolve in the episode. Jack Reacher is portrayed as a stoic man, but he reaches the end of his wits and attacks KJ in the episode's opening moments. Fortunately for him, KJ does not press charges. Roscoe, too, finds herself in a downward spiral when she gets fired and sent out of town after she punches Teal. Even in its ending moments, the episode keeps viewers on the edge of their seats by revealing that Kleiner has been murdered. Another exciting development that makes the episode even more compelling is that it introduces Frances Neely, who is now getting her own spin-off series on Amazon. Netflix has officially found its replacement for Reacher, and in a surprising twist, the new lead couldn't be more different from Alan Ritchson's portrayal of the towering, muscle-bound ex-military man. While Ritchson's Jack Reacher on Prime Video was an instant hit, embodying the gritty, tough guy persona from Lee Child's best-selling novels, Netflix is aiming for something entirely new, signaling a departure from the traditional Reacher archetype. The appeal of Alan Ritchson's Reacher. Before diving into the fresh take on this character, it's important to acknowledge why Alan Ritchson's version of Reacher resonated so deeply with fans. Standing at 6'2" with an imposing physique, Ritchson was the embodiment of Jack Reacher, as described in the novels, someone who could dominate in hand-to-hand combat and possess an intimidating presence. His Reacher was defined by stoicism, physicality, and a direct, no-nonsense approach to problem-solving. When Prime Video's Reacher premiered, it was a massive hit, praised for its action sequences, Ritchson's rugged charisma, and its faithful adaptation of Child's source material. Audiences loved the sheer physicality Ritchson brought to the role. His portrayal exuded confidence, power, and a deep sense of justice. Reacher, as played by Richardson, was a man of few words but explosive action, a lone wolf who could walk into a room full of enemies and leave as the last one standing. This version of Reacher appealed to fans who enjoyed seeing a larger-than-life hero solving problems with his fists as much as his wits. Netflix's new Reacher, a radical departure, however. Netflix's casting for its own version of Reacher aims to defy expectations. The platform has intentionally sought an actor who is the complete opposite of Richardson's take on the character, signaling that they're not just looking to replicate the success of the Prime Video series, but instead to forge their own path. While the actor's name hasn't been officially released yet, reports suggest that this new Reacher will be a leaner, more cerebral character, a man who wins battles with intelligence, strategy, and psychological insight rather than brute force. This fresh interpretation of Reacher appears to be more in line with the detective and crime-solving aspects of the character rather than the action hero image. Where Richardson's Reacher was all about physical dominance, Netflix's Reacher will be more nuanced, relying on subtlety and cleverness to outsmart his opponents. Instead of walking into a room and throwing punches, this Reacher might quietly assess his surroundings, finding vulnerabilities in his enemy's plans before making a move. In this sense, Netflix is pivoting away from the action-heavy focus of the Prime Video version and leaning into a slower, more psychological drama. The streaming giant seems to be embracing the noir-like qualities that could exist within the Reacher universe, tapping into a different layer of suspense that favors tension over action. The new Reacher will likely be more relatable in some ways, a man who doesn't rely on his size and strength to get by, but instead on his intellect and intuition. A strategic move for Netflix. Netflix's decision to go in a different direction is both bold and strategic. With Prime Video's Reacher already catering to fans of high-octane action, Netflix is betting on drawing a different crowd, one that might appreciate a more complex and cerebral take on the classic hero. This is a move that could potentially broaden the appeal of the Reacher character, attracting viewers who might not typically gravitate toward a straightforward action series. This new Reacher could be compared more closely to characters like Sherlock Holmes or Lisbeth Salander, known for their intelligence, sharp instincts, and ability to manipulate situations to their advantage. By taking this route, Netflix is hoping to capture an audience that enjoys intricate plotting and slow burn tension, more reminiscent of classic detective stories than explosive thrillers. Moreover, this approach allows Netflix to differentiate its version of Reacher from Prime Video's in a way that avoids direct competition. Instead of creating a mirror image of Richardson's Reacher, which would inevitably invite comparisons, Netflix is offering something distinct, a version that stands apart and appeals to different tastes within the crime and thriller genres. How fans might react, of course. There's always the risk that this stark departure could alienate fans who loved Alan Richardson's version. The original Jack Reacher fanbase, which appreciated the character's physicality and vigilante justice, may be skeptical about a more subdued version of their hero. After all, Richardson's Reacher was defined by his ability to take down enemies with brutal efficiency, and fans of that portrayal may not immediately warm to a Reacher who doesn't pack the same punch literally. However, there's also a chance that Netflix's new Reacher could surprise everyone, including the most die-hard fans. If the writing,